We've all seen those books that when we find out they're for kids, we're like, are these really made for kids? Some of these books aren't on that list. They're just, some parents don't think they're made for kids. I would have to agree on some of them, but some of them I really sit back and say, are these really made for kids? The Witches. A little boy stumbles across a society of witches, whose sole purpose is to kill human children, by turning them into mice and releasing cats to destroy them. In his quest to stop them, the boy is turned into a mouse, but decides he wants to stay that way because he will live as long as his grandmother, and then they can die together. That's one of them ones that makes me go, The Dollhouse Murders. In Betty Wren Wright's The Dollhouse Murders, Amy finds a dollhouse in her aunt's attic, where the dolls don't just move on their own, but reenact the murder of her great-grandparents, which took place in the house years ago. As if dolls moving on their own weren't freaky enough, who wants to find out that their great-grandparents were killed by something that was horrifying? Another one that makes me go, Now, I love me some Goosebumps. R.L. Stine was one of my favorite authors from elementary school, middle school, high school. He had something for everyone. But obviously there has to be a Goosebumps story here somewhere. Arguably one of the R.L. Stine's creepiest books, though, although there were so many to choose from. Night of the Living Dummy stars Slappy, a ventriloquist dummy that comes to life slapping people across the face, making twin girls his slaves, and choking the family dog. Even running over him with a steamroller isn't enough to stop Slappy. Creepy, yes. Made for kids, it depends on the age, but Goosebumps has always been a staple in I think everyone's home, so gonna have to give this one a pass. The BFG, which stands for the Big Friendly Giant. Despite having the word friendly in its title, the BFG is weird on so many accounts. A giant kidnaps an orphan girl. His favorite food is stray cats. Not to mention that most of the giants in this book enjoy indulging in human beings, aka human beings, as their main source of nutrition. Not a tale we'd like to see come to life. Another one I'm gonna do a big on. Not real big about giants eating people. So, yeah, I'll pass on this one. The Bridge to Terabithia. In Catherine Patterson's heartbreaking Bridge to Terabithia, two outsiders befriend each other and create an imaginary kingdom where they rule as king and queen. During their roleplay one day, Leslie, the queen of Terabithia, falls to her death after swinging from a loose tree rope. It's a harsh lesson in how sudden and senseless death can be, and as an adult, you've seen that go from hypothetical to in real life. I don't necessarily think death should be any kid books, but I don't know. I guess that's up to the parent to decide, but I'm going to say on this one too. Holes is a story of a young boy wrongly convicted of a crime and sent to a correctional facility where he must dig holes in the scorching desert all day to build character. The warden only gives the boys onions to eat, and they have to dig to find water. Not sure what the lesson is here. Maybe have Child Protective Services on speed dial. I know they made this into a movie, and a lot of people liked it, but again, I think a little too much for kids. A series of unfortunate events. After the three siblings, in a series of unfortunate events, lose their parents and their home in a fire, they are sent to live with Count Olaf, a distant relative who plots to marry Violet, who is only 14 at the time. Gross. He consistently refers to her as beautiful throughout the novel, and also dangles the youngest child, a baby, from the tower in a cage. Child marriage, orphanhood, and abuse are heftier subjects as an adult, I really don't think these are meant for kids, so no, this is going to be a big pass for me. Alice in Wonderland. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland is notorious for being filled with drug references throughout the novel. Alice drinks potions and eats mushrooms to change her physical state. If the drugs weren't enough, the author Lewis Carroll was also known to be a successful photographer, whose surviving shots are mainly of semi-dressed or naked children. Some think Alice was based on one of these kids. I don't know about this one. I mean, those could be rumors and stuff too, but if that's the case, then no, I don't want to see that. But I do understand the drug references and stuff like that. It was kind of a psychedelic movie. But I also know this is a staple in everyone's homes too, so I don't know about this one. I guess it's up to parents. Coraline. Neil Gaiman's Coraline tells the story of a girl underappreciated by her parents, who enters an alternate world where she meets a set of doting, loving parents that look just like her own. Sensing something amiss, she returns to her world and finds her actual parents are missing, kidnapped by her alternate world mother. Blurring good and bad is hair-raising at any age. This one, I don't think this one was that bad. It's been a long time since I've read this book, but kidnapping and stuff like that, I think this was meant more for like not teenage, but like 12-year-olds, so I don't think it was too bad. Scary stories to tell in the dark. Okay, who thought this was a good idea to market this as a children's book? Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is a collection of dozens of folklore and urban legends stories. I mean, some of them are pretty scary, so although almost every child from age of 8 to 75 was in line for the movie, so I think some of the stories are not meant for kids, but some of them are okay. But all in all, the series is a really good series. I think parents just have to be mindful of what they're reading. In a Dark, Dark Room. In a Dark, Dark Room and Other Scary Stories was published by Alvin Schwartz in 1984 for early readers age 4 to 8. In one of the stories, the green ribbon, Jenny, has always lived with a green ribbon tied around her neck until her husband unties it, and her head rolls off onto the floor. Excuse us while we sleep with the lights on. Okay, so I think some of these are not really good stories for kids. From what I can remember of it, they were all kind of weird like that. So, I mean, it is what it is. Some of the cartoons are even scarier than that nowadays. But, so, like I said, you just have to be mindful of what they're reading and maybe check the stories before you let them read them. Okay, so okay, that's it for this video. If you have any books that you can remember reading or that you bought for your kids or something that you realized real quick that they weren't actually meant for kids, leave them down in the comments below. I'd love to see what everyone thinks about these books. Like I said, some of these books could be for kids. Some of them don't necessarily think they were meant for kids, but they were sold for kids. So you just have to be careful about the storylines and stuff. And a lot of people put little things in there that kids don't know what they're talking about, but adults do, and so they really shouldn't be in kid books anyway. So just leave a comment below what books you think are not meant for kids, or even movies. If you know some movies that were made for kids that really shouldn't be made for kids. And if you like seeing this stuff, let me know below. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe if you haven't, and hit the bell, and you will be notified when we go on next or when we have a video upload. Thanks, guys. Love you.